So in this video, I want to break down to you the 8 non-negotiable tools that every agency should be using, and the tools that we're using in our agency right now to serve well over 100 clients and allow me and my team to get shit done very, very efficiently. Now, just for a little bit of context, if you don't know who I am, I built a $3 million a year marketing agency by the age of 19 with no college degree, single mother household, no rich parents. I came from nothing, and from the age of 16 to 19, I've managed to get it up to now where we make around $250,000 a month. And if you want some more proof, I've documented the entire thing on YouTube, so just scroll down on my channel. So that being said, in this video, I'm going to break down the tools we use, how we use them in our agency, how you can use them, how much they cost, and what are the benefits of us using them, and when should you actually implement them. So the first one we use is Slack. Now, Slack is pretty damn self-explanatory. If you're not already using it, I'm going to show you how we use it, what we use it for. But I've seen a lot of agencies, when they're communicating with their team, they're communicating with their clients, they use email, they use WhatsApp. Just learn from the pain that I went through to figure this out. It's not scalable. You need your clients in Slack. You need your team in Slack. If you have a centralized platform for everything, Slack is going to be the best place to do it because you can actually automate things going in and out of Slack, such as notifications, messages. There's just so many benefits as to use Slack, and pretty much every agency I know that surpassed 50, 100, multi-six figures a month uses Slack, and you need to be doing the same thing at scale. So in terms of how we use this, I'll just give you a high-level overview. So we have two different Slacks. We have a PPS, which is our agency pinpoint scaling. We have an internal Slack, and then we have a client Slack. So within our internal Slack, you might not want this many damn channels, but this is just an example of the way that we've got it set up. So you can see here, we've got like culture channels where it's like better every day, book club where we can share things on like books that we're reading and how we're improving. Fuck around is really good for culture. Wins, so where we share wins within the company, research and development. The benefit of using Slack is you can create sections and you can also create channels. So you can see we've got this culture channel, which I can close and open, which keeps it organized. And then within culture, if we open it up, we've got specific channels for specific things, such as research and development, wins, fuck around, book club. And then we have like main. So this is like our team lead channel, announcements. We actually segment our announcements on the hierarchy of the company and then per department as well. So we have announcements for like our core team. We have announcements for everyone. We have team leads. We have just our sales team. And we have just our client sales team because we call our clients leads. Then we have like sales and marketing, for example, where we have notifications. This is why I like Slack because you can't really do this in WhatsApp. We have notifications that come in when we book a demo, when we book an intro, when new leads come in. We have a sales general. We have automated call reviews that come in. And whenever I go in and like audit a sales call, or my sales manager audits one of our closed sales calls that comes in, we have a channel between client success and sales. You kind of get the point, right? It is a non-negotiable that you need to be using Slack in your agency if you want to grow, because you just simply can't do this at scale with any other platform, really. I'm sure there's some that compete or compare, but Slack is a no-brainer. One thing that I will say is a quick little hack if you're going to use Slack is if you click this add thing here, say you want to invite someone and they're just going to be in one channel, you don't need to pay that $8.75 per user. You can click invite people. You can invite them as a guest, like so, and you can put in their email here, and it allows you to add them to one channel completely for free. So that's a quick little hack if you've never used Slack before, or you do use Slack and you didn't know that was a thing. If you're just inviting somebody to one channel, like we have a lot of like subcontractors or graphics designers or video editors, we don't need to pay for, we don't want to pay for, it's just unnecessary expenses for you. So you can add them as a guest and add them to a single channel, and you don't need to pay for them. And then what we do is we also have a separate Slack, a whole different workspace for our clients. Now, the reason that we separate them is because we used to have our clients and our internal team all in one Slack. Couple of problems with that. Number one, you can only have one Slack channel per client when we needed a general and a scheduling channel. The reason that we segment the two is because we need a general for general communication. We need a scheduling one because our scheduling one is where we have automated announcements or notifications that go to the client when we book someone, when we reschedule someone, when we cancel someone. And if you want to have two channels per client in a paid workspace, you need to make them a paid member, which means say you have 100 clients, you're paying $9 per client. It's a lot of unnecessary expenses, especially if they have team members you want to add to. So we made the decision about 8 to 9 months ago to move to a completely separate workspace. So that's pretty much how we use Slack. Now on to the next tool. So the next one we use is Zoom. I don't really need to pull this up for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is for client meetings and team collaboration. With the free plan, I believe you can only have a meeting for sub 60 minutes or sub 30 minutes. And we need our main team members that are always on calls to have Zoom Premium. So we have our team leads, our client success managers, our call center manager, our media buyer manager. They're all on Zoom Premium, as well as our sales reps, because, well, that's the bloodline of the business. And if they have a sales call that's taking over 60 minutes and they get kicked out, they're going to botch the sale. So Zoom's pretty self-explanatory. It's like $13 per user a month. And then you've got Fathom. Now, I'm actually surprised that not a lot of agencies use Fathom. Basically, the way that Fathom works is it's a centralized place that you can record all of your team meetings. And if you're starting to hire people who take calls on your team, like sales reps, client success managers, team leads for specific departments, you need the paid version of Fathom, because this way you have a centralized place where you can actually see all of your team's calls. The biggest mistake that I made previously was I never had our team using Fathom. And say our client success managers were taking calls, in order for me to see their calls, I had to request them. And when I requested calls, they could literally just come to me and say, oh, for some reason it didn't record, or some bullshit like that, if it was a really bad call. And if I said, hey, let's pull up a call, we're going to do a call review for our sales team, for our client success team, they're going to pick a call that makes them look good a lot of the time. And I want to be able to pick random calls. So using Fathom is a no-brainer because you literally have within the dashboard, which I can show you. So you can see here in Fathom, there's this team call section, and I know you can't see this because it's blurred for obvious reasons, but this is where I can literally go in and filter by team member and literally see all the calls they took on what day, when, how long the call went. And the cool thing about Fathom, which I can show you, is in here you can see a summary of the call, a transcript, and then you can use this tool called Ask Fathom. So if I want to know anything about the call, like it was a sales call, when was price dropped, for example, it will give us the timestamp, and AI will basically scan the call and give us the timestamp and tell us what happened, what was the biggest objection, etc., etc. So Fathom is a must-have in your agency when you scale and when you have team members that are taking calls on your behalf. The fourth thing is Monday. Now, you don't necessarily need Monday. The one thing I will say about Monday is it's probably the best project management tool in terms of simplicity and adapting your team to use, but it does not have the best functionality. Its functionality works extremely well, but ClickUp by far is definitely better, I'd say by about 10 to 20% margin, but it's a lot harder for your team to adapt to. It's more complex, so you need to pick your poison. I'll say the benefit with ClickUp is it's a lot cheaper. Monday, I pay about $500 a month for a 20-person team, which is expensive. However, if you don't have a 20-person team, then obviously it's not going to cost you that much. It might cost you like $100 a month, if that. So the way that we use this is as you scale past 20 clients, which this is where we hit a big constraint with like managing clients. It's almost impossible to manage all of your clients in Google Sheets, especially when you have like client success managers managing your clients. You need a centralized place where you can see all communication points, changes on the client's campaign, action items that all sync together. And the same applies with team tasks at scale. You need some project management system where you can see everything, there's notifications embedded. And that's why I personally picked Monday, because I was picking my poison between ClickUp and Monday. Monday, yes, it's more expensive. Yes, it doesn't have as good functionality, even though it's still really good, but it's incredibly simple. And I want to completely cut the learning curve for my team to make it as stupidly simple as possible to use all of the tools that we have implemented within our agency. So in Monday, we have a bunch of different boards. A board is basically a place that we can track things. So we segment it by like clients, we have ticketing boards for our team. And for example, on our client management board, we can have all of our clients here. We know when they last got touch pointed, meaning when was the last time we communicated with the client. We know the status of the client. Are they happy? Are they angry? Are they sad? And then if we click into the comments section here, we can also see all of the updates. So we can see when the client pauses, when things change, when tasks get completed, when our team have a call with the client, we upload the Fathom here. So it's just so much easier at scale when you start signing 5, 10, 15, 20 clients a month, even more than that. It's almost impossible to do it with Google Sheets. So you need a project management tool. And my recommendation would be Monday because it's simple. Is it more expensive? Yes. But is it easier to use? Absolutely. Moving to the fifth thing, which I assume you should probably know by now, which is Go High Level. Now, I pay for the SaaS plan, which is $500 a month. You can also get it for $297 a month. I love Go High Level because it's so simple. You can have all your clients in one place. And the use cases for this is we use this as a sales CRM on the B2B side to automate messages, manage leads. And we also manage our clients in there as well, because you can create something within Go High Level called a snapshot. And the benefit of a snapshot is, especially if you're on the SaaS plan, you can have, say, a client fills out an onboarding form, you can automatically pull a snapshot, which is a templated Go High Level account, which will then create them a sub account within Go High Level and automatically install the pipeline, the automations, the funnels. That's what we have. And that's essentially one piece of the puzzle that I give to the people in License and Scale is my client snapshot so they can replicate the same thing. Because it's kind of surprising. Not a lot of people know how to automate that and they don't have that. So they're spending so much time every time they onboard a new client, manually filling everything out, automations, funnels, pipelines. It's a pain in the ass. So this is what we use Go High Level for. And just to show you an example, this is what we call our master snapshot, which is where our template is built that we plug into all of our clients. So we have our pipelines, we have tons of automations in here, which you can see here in each individual folder. And we can just plug and play this into any client we please. We also have under the site section, funnels that we can use for every client. So instead of us having to recreate it each time, it's just plug and play, copy and paste. So that's why I personally really like Go High Level, because not a lot of CRMs have that functionality to create unlimited sub accounts and also to automatically in automations using third-party tools like Make and Zapier to plug and play a template into one account and paste it onto another very easily. The next tool is School. So School is around $100 a month. And I used to use Monday to manage my SOPs, but we actually moved everything to School, which I found was so much cleaner, especially at scale. And I actually didn't know of anybody else at the time. I don't really know of many people doing it now, except for the people that I've taught and given my SOPs to use it, to make SOPs. It's more of like a course platform, right? Hermosi obviously made it, so I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're familiar with School. But it's been one of the best things that we did specifically for team boot camps. It's super clean, easy to use, and you can give team members limited access to specific boot camps. So just to show you an example, say I'm onboarding a client success manager, and I don't want them to have access to like the marketing manager, the hiring manager, the tech team manager, client sales rep manager. They don't need that, and I don't want them to have that. I especially don't want them to have the CEO resources, right? That's my secret sauce. So I can go in, and when I invite them, I can just give them limited access to the entire team trainings, core team trainings, and then client success manager bootcamp. And then when they come in here, there's literally all the SOPs they will need ever, from intro to fundamentals, onboarding calls, launch calls, check-in calls, upsells, referrals, performance analysis, conflict and onboarding, sales coaching, like everything they need. And it's just super clean and easy to implement. So I'd recommend, if you haven't already, starting to build that out on School, especially as you scale. Using a project management tool can work. I've seen people do it on ClickUp, Monday, things like that, but I've just found there is nothing better than School to house all of your SOPs. The seventh thing, second to last, is Poppy AI. So this, I pay around $200 a month, and this is a pretty new tool that I recently implemented into our agency. And it basically helps me and my team leads make SOPs. So what we've done is we've essentially trained it. What Poppy AI is, just for context, is it's Miro, like a visual board, and ChatGPT on steroids combined together. And we've essentially trained it on everything on our agency, and it now has the ability to do 80% of the work for us in creating SOPs right out the gate. So just to give you an example of how I'm using this, I'm also doing this with content, I'm doing it with SOPs, I'm doing it with email newsletters. So if I show you the one that helped me actually ideate and create this video, I've trained it on my story, who I am. I've uploaded a PDF on my story. I've uploaded videos of me. I've uploaded videos on how to write good scripts for YouTube. I gave it who I am, what I do, my audience and ICP, and it's essentially helping me ideate videos like this, and it's really cool. So that's another tool that we're also using internally, externally for content with my channel, and if you have any organic systems that you use for your agency, this is going to serve you too. But we also use it for internal SOP creation as well. And as well, scripting our B2B ads, writing video scripts, all of that stuff, we also use Poppy as well. And then the final tool we use is Jotform. So the primary use of this is hiring and onboarding. I actually think I forgot to put the price here. That's completely on me. I think it's like $200 a month or something like that. I don't even think it's that expensive, maybe even like $50 a month. And this is not needed, but I love the layout of their hiring applications and their candidate management sheets. So we use this when we're hiring new people into our agency, because basically what it allows us to do is create these super clean, slick application forms whenever we're hiring people, where we can add a HSL. If you've heard of the term VSL, it's the same thing, but for hiring. It's a hiring sales letter. And we can add custom box questions that ask for experience on specific things. So if I give you an example of the layout here, and the reason I like it so much, it's much cleaner than Go high-level forms. So I can add a HSL, which goes over what we're hiring, who we're hiring for. This is for a position for the operations manager, for example. We can have like name, email, phone number, basic things. We can upload a resume. And what I really like is these. Please describe your experience with the following tools, and they can kind of toggle them on like so. Describe your experience with the following skills. We can add images on here, and then finally, obviously, we get them to create a Loom video to confirm their application. So this is the reason I really like Jotform. I think it's super clean, super simple, and it's very easy to manage the candidates in Jotform directly as well. And that's pretty much it. They're the 8 tools that we use to run our $3 million a year marketing agency. There's a couple of others, but if you do by chance want to have the templates, the snapshots, and a full in-depth breakdown of how we're using each of these tools individually within our agency, then check out the free training below. Do have something to sell you, and if you want my help scaling your agency, that's what I do, baby. So check out the link below this video, click on it. I've got something to sell you. I'll see you then. Bye.